Hello there everybody, this is Voccio here, and hey look, I finally found a use for my MGS5 footage that I've got laying around. By the way guys, I had a look at this series size earlier. It's taken up about 78 gigabytes on my hard drive, all these videos, so yeah. You guys have still got about a week to let me know if you want this stuff, but if you don't want it, it's definitely gone, because it's taking up way too much space. Anyway, so I guess I should start by talking about the title of the video, my thoughts on the 8th generation of consoles. And so for this video I'm primarily going to be talking about my thoughts on Sony, Microsoft and Nintendo. I'm not that big up on PC gaming, so that's not really something, and besides PC isn't, PCs aren't really generational as much as consoles are, so I don't think they really count. So yeah, I guess we'll start with Sony and how the launch of the PS4 went. I'm going to be starting from the beginning of each console launch, as I understand it. From what this is just my personal knowledge of this stuff. I may take breaks here, and I may cut out. I may pause the Microsoft. I can't fucking English, guys. Help! Let's try that again. I may pause the mic recordings at certain points just to Google things, maybe things I may think of but may not know much about, just to sound a little bit smarter. But no, the illusion is now shattered because I've just admitted it. So anyway, let's make a start by talking about Sony and the launch of the PS4 from the start. I didn't buy a PS4 at launch, guys. In fact, I didn't buy a PlayStation 4 until Bloodborne came out, and I bought the console specifically for the game. Because the thing is, the way I see it, this is me going into my own personal views on buying consoles as well, but there you go. The way I see it with consoles, and in fact any device, any gaming device, whether it be PS1, 2, 3, 4, Xbox 360 or Xbox One, or PC, Wii U, whatever your flavour, you buy the console for the games at the end of the day, in my own opinion. Because the thing is, exclusives are a thing that are here to stay, right? So when you're buying a console, let's be honest, most people are buying a console for the exclusives more than anything else. So yeah, I bought a PS4 for Bloodborne. Hey, if Bloodborne had been on the Xbox One, I might have got one of them. But yeah, so going into it, from the launch of the PS4, I mean, I know Sony marketed it fairly well, and I was interested in it, but at the time, at the end of 2013, pardon me, I was mindful of launch issues, that every console has, launch problems. From what I understand, the PS4 in the early days was really fucking bad, because I've got a mate who had one since launch, and he's told me about it and how bad it was, and yeah, I'm kind of glad I skipped it, to be honest, guys. I am, and I waited till March this year to get one, and I don't regret it. So that's all cool. And it works really well, now we've got the ability to capture videos, as I am proving with this, and we've got some good online infrastructure now. It could be better, but then again, it can always be fucking better. Still, it could be better, So yeah, my thoughts on the 8th gen of consoles. I keep repeating that over and over because I'm trying to remind myself what I'm talking about so I don't go off on some random tangent, which is what I'm almost doing. I'm a professional. Anyway, so yeah, the PS4 overall a good console, I'd say. It's got its issues just like everything else has. Xbox One. Now, I would like to clarify before I say anything else. I'm not invested in the console wars, right? I don't give a shit what console you game on, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. What we are is we are people who play games, right? It doesn't matter what piece of plastic you own or you have under your TV or wherever the fuck you keep it. I don't know. It's all about enjoying video games as a form of media entertainment or as a form of art, however you want to view them. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way, guys, because I'm going to be talking about PlayStation, Xbox, and the Wii in this video. So I just wanted to clarify that I don't care what console you're on. All right. So let's just get that out of the way right now. I'm not a Sony fanboy. I'm not an Xbox fanboy, and I'm not a Nintendo fanboy. I play games. Because in my time I've had a Sega Master System, I've had a Sega Genesis, as the Americans would call it, a Mega Drive over here in the UK. I've had a Nintendo 64, I've had a PlayStation 1, I had a Game Boy Advance, a Nintendo DS, a Game Boy Color. I didn't own a GameCube, which sucks. PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4. I even had a Xbox 360 at one point, but sorry guys, come on, you know what the Xbox 360 was like at launch. Anybody watching out there who may be an Xbox fan, come on, you guys have to agree with me with how fucked that console was at launch. And that's when I bought it, so I had it for about 5 months before it died on me. So yeah, I didn't get another one. So I've had a lot of consoles in my time, and I've grown up as a gamer, and I've seen. I've said all this in another video that it probably got more views than this one's gonna get, but fuck it. I'll talk about what I want. I've seen generations change over time. I'm only 24, which I turned recently, but I would consider myself a fairly old gamer, I guess. I don't know, that's my own opinion about myself. Other people may think differently, but you've got my Oh, I forgot to include Dreamcast in that list. I also had a Dreamcast, sorry guys. But you've got my list of consoles right there, so make your own judgments. Am I an old gamer or not? So yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it all in my time. Guys, the largest collection of games I ever had was on the PS2, and I think I'm not even exaggerating here. I think at one point my collection was over 200 games. Seriously, at one point I'm pretty sure I had over 200 PlayStation 2 games. No exaggeration. I think that's how many I had. So yeah, I've played a lot of games, and that's just one console, guys. And that's not the total amount of games I played on PS2. I played more than 200. It's just at one time I had about 200 at one time. Cases, physical copies of games. But I did play more than 200 games on PS2. I know that much. So yeah, that was probably the console that I spent the longest time with, and the one that had the biggest impact on me, I guess you could say, because it had so many great games on it. The Suffering was one of them, one of my favourite titles on the PS2, The Suffering, and then Psyops. Anyway, I don't want to get into all that. So yeah, PS4. I need to get back on topic, don't I? I'm getting all nostalgic here. Which I don't know. People may want to hear that. People may not. I'm trying to find a direction to go here. I guess. Fuck it. I'll just talk about the PS4. I'm going to stop going on these tangents. I need to stop going on tangents. I need to focus. So yeah, PS4. Overall as a console, it's pretty good. We're still missing some online features that are needed. Well, that aren't needed, but would be nice. I think as far as the console goes, it has everything it needs to be a modern online gaming platform. We've got the basic online play. We've got a digital marketplace where you can make purchases. The download speeds finally seem to be fucking fixed, which is awesome, because how long we were waiting for that to fucking happen. I mean, Jesus. So that's good. That's a really good thing that they've finally fixed the download speeds. Still can't change your online ID or appear offline though, which I do wish my headset would stop trying to auto shut down. It's so annoying when I'm in the middle of commentary. What was I saying? Oh yeah, these features would be nice, but I don't think they're needed. So. We'll just have to see what Sony are going to do about that. We might get them, we might not. Probably the best feature on the PS4, and my personal favourite, is SharePlay. where you can stream a game to a friend and have them play it. That's a really cool feature that I really like using with friends. It's really good, and I do it a lot with a friend of mine, and we play a lot of games together like that. It's really cool, and it also gives me the chance to, because he rents a lot of games. I can't afford to buy that many, so it also gives me a chance to play games that I possibly won't get the chance to play otherwise. And so that's awesome. You know, that's a really cool thing about SharePlay. It allows you to experience games you may or may not get the chance to buy yourself. That's brilliant. You know, that's one of the coolest features about it, if you ask me. Plus the fact that there are some games I have to kind of hold his hand through, like Bloodborne, for example. I've had to SharePlay that for him quite a bit. Fun fact, I even helped him get the Platinum Trophy for Bloodborne on SharePlay. Don't worry, I'm not going to name who it is, just in case he sees this video. In fact, I'll probably tell him about this video, so yeah, I'm not going to name him. But yeah, so yeah, SharePlay is cool. What you can do with it. By the way, can I just say I had platted Bloodborne first before I platted it for him. So yeah, moving on from the PS4 to the Xbox One. And I'm going to get into some funny territory here. Like I said, guys, I'm not a Sony fanboy, and I think the Xbox One as a console is still a solid piece of hardware. Okay, just 'cause I don't have one doesn't mean I hate it. But I do have issues with it, particularly with what Microsoft did at the beginning of the generation, when, you know, they were trying to force DRM and Kinect on people, which, yeah, everybody let Microsoft know what they thought at that point, didn't they? Because which console's on top right now? Microsoft. And like I said, this isn't a hate message to all the Xbox owners out there. It's not. I don't want it to be misconstrued that way. I'm not trying to start a war or console war or anything. I'm just, because the thing is, I don't have a problem with the console, right? Yeah, I think this is the best way to clarify it. I don't have a problem with the Xbox as a console. I think it's a solid piece of hardware. I have an issue with Microsoft, the company. I'm not a fan of their business practices. Because, you know, you guys, a lot of people might not know this, but, and yes, someone probably would have started it eventually, but it's kind of Microsoft's fault that we pay for DLC on consoles. Because I believe, I think it was Call of Duty, no, was it COD? There was a game that was on the Xbox, the 360 this was, or it might be in the original Xbox, I don't know. I can't remember what game it was, guys, I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly what game it was, but apparently, back in the day when it came out, the developer or the publisher, one of them, wanted to release, DLC for the game for free. Because the thing is, a lot of console gamers may or may not know this, and I'm not 100% sure of it myself, but I think it's the case on PC, or at least it used to be the case on PC, is that DLC is or used to be free on PC, because the original idea of downloadable content wasn't to make a profit, it was to make new content for the game and keep the online user base going, like map packs and shit. And that was the original reason why DLC was a thing, for all those who may not know. It was originally envisioned and conceptualized as a way to keep the online communities going for online games, because there was new map packs released by the developer, and it was free. So there'd be the players won't be divided on people who bought it and people who didn't. But from what I understand, there was a game on an Xbox, one of the Xbox consoles, it was probably the 360, since the original Xbox didn't sell that well, where a dev wanted to give away the content for free, but Microsoft won't allow them. Microsoft were like, if you want users to have this content, they gotta pay for it. We'll charge them for it. Which they could have just went, we're not going to release it on the 360 then, we'll just release it on PS3. But then, of course, you know, that's an entire kind of worms right there. You can't do that. So, yeah. I mean, obviously, guys, I'll be honest with you. As much as Microsoft were the ones originally responsible for the DLC practices that we put up with now, EA probably would have done it. Or somebody would have done it, you know, because video games are a lot more expensive to produce nowadays, and You know, somebody would have probably eventually made paid for DLC a thing, but you know, Microsoft started it. I'm just reporting the facts, or at least from what I've heard. You know, and I know, you know, Microsoft do some good things. They do cancer support, and that's great. That's awesome. You know, more power to them for doing that kind of stuff. But some of their business practices are questionable, guys. Because I'm a big believer in consumer rights. I'm a big, I guess I'm not an advocate for it since I'm not well known. But you know, I believe in consumer rights first and foremost above everything else. I believe if people are spending money on things, then they should be entitled to quality. You know. That's just the way I feel, and I don't know if that makes me sound entitled, because the thing is, you know, I'm an old gamer, and as I said before, I've seen generations change, and one thing that a lot of young gamers don't seem to appreciate these days, from what I'm seeing with the Call of Duty crowd and the Call of Duty players, is so many people don't seem to understand value for money anymore. At least that's the way I see it. I may be wrong. You know, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, but I just think so many people have forgotten the value of money, because everybody buys shit every year. I mean, you know, as I said in my rant video, the practice of season passes is yeah. I mean, what need I say more? Destiny, which the least said about that game, the better. Fuck Destiny, guys, just fuck Destiny. And you know, it's the game industry is a very difficult beast to deal with, you know. And some of the business practices Microsoft pursue are not consumer friendly, if you ask me. And it's one of the reasons why I don't support the company. As I said, I don't have a problem with the Xbox. I don't have a problem with the console. I really don't. I think it's a solid piece of technology. I really do. Just because the PS4 is a bit more... Oh, yeah, one thing I meant to say, guys. One thing you may not know is that the entire reason why the Xbox is less powerful than the PS4, from a resolution standpoint, is when Microsoft were originally designing the Xbox One, they... You know, this was around the time when they still thought Kinect was going to sell. And they were so confident in it. That they actively made sure that part of the Xbox One's power, like, I don't know, the CPU, I think, or the cores, or what, however it works. I'm not an engineer, guys, sorry. I don't know the specifics and the technicals, but from what I understand, some of the Xbox's power was, like, hardware locked to only run the camera. So that means that some of the power of the Xbox One isn't even being used by the games that run on it, because the way it was built and designed, there was specific parts of the hardware that were built on it to work the camera and nothing else. Nothing else. And, you know, Microsoft was throwing the Kinect in everyone's faces at the beginning of this gen, but now people have basically let them know, we don't want it, you know? And then there was the DRM problems as well, which, yeah... I still wonder how they thought it was a good idea to force that on people. I really wonder, like, that it's obvious, guys, that they don't care about the consumer. Some divisions of Microsoft are awesome and grand, you know, like the ones who do cancer support. That's awesome. That's fucking awesome, you know, and props to them. But then there are the other divisions, like the Xbox division, who are like, we'll make DRM a thing and everyone will like it. What? I'm sorry, do you have clowns running your fucking company? Nobody wants that, guys. No one wants that shit. You know? I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't want to have to always be online to play my games, and I don't want to have to be forced into buying games brand new, because I can't afford that, you know? I have to take advantage of these discounts and these sales whenever they come along, because I can't, you know, I don't have the money to go out every day and buy a fucking £50 game that comes out. I can't do that. Don't know how many people can. And the fact of the matter is, most games nowadays, I don't think they're worth the release price. That's me. That's my own opinion, right? I'm not saying that should be anyone else's opinion. That's mine. But I feel that a lot of games nowadays aren't worth the release price. I really don't, for the amount of gameplay and time you're going to get out of them and enjoyment. I don't think most games are worth the asking price at release. That's why I buy games on sale, because I feel like I'm getting a much fairer deal. Personally, that's me personally. But I don't throw money at any bullshit that comes along. And my wake up call to all that, guys. I'm just gonna say this real quick. I'm not gonna go on about it, because that would be like I'd be going on about it to the end of this video. I go on a fucking rant. But the game that kind of opened my eyes to that kind of stuff is that don't throw money at any old thing that comes along was Destiny. When I bought Destiny for 50 quid at launch, thank God I got like 40 quid back on it when I took it to CEX and plugged it off. Yeah, Destiny was kind of the eye opener for me. Like, 50 quid at launch. Why did I spend this money on it? Why did I bother? But we're coming to the third part, the third chunk of the video, the last chunk. So let's move on to Nintendo and the Wii. And the Wii U. Now, the Wii U, I believe the Wii came out in 2006, 2007, one of them. I think. And the Wii U came out in 2012. Oh, God, the Wii. Oh, sorry, guys, I just clipped the mic with my arm. Sorry about that. But yeah, the Wii. Okay, now we're getting onto an interesting subject. Now, I have no respect for Nintendo right now, or their consoles, I'll be honest. And that's me, my opinion, right? You might feel differently, that's fine. That's your choice. If you like Nintendo, if you're indifferent about them, whatever. But me, personally, I think what Nintendo are doing is downright stupid, idiotic, and ridiculous. And as a result, I've lost a lot of respect for the company. Because I had a Nintendo 64, I had a DS, I never had a fucking GameCube, which I regret because I heard that console was absolutely brilliant. I just never got around to getting it, I guess. I was happy with my PS2. That was enough for me. But yeah, what they did with the Wii at launch, I can't believe they thought it was a good idea to carry on that gimmick. Because gimmicks don't sell consoles. Games sell consoles. Hardware doesn't sell consoles. Games sell consoles. In my opinion, anyway. Pardon me. So, oh, God, Nintendo. Motion control is a gimmick and always will be. It's not the future of games. It's just not. And I don't think that's opinion. I think that's fact, guys. Because look at how many people bought a Wii U. How popular is the Wii U today? How relevant is it to the quote-unquote 8th gen? Oh, yeah. The Wii U is apparently part of the 8th gen. Oh, God, no. No. Just fucking no. Why? How? Where? Who? When? That's just puzzling to me. How it can be considered part of the 8th gen of consoles. All I'm going to say about Nintendo is, I could talk about the Wii and the Wii U. I'm not gonna, because it would take a while. So I'm just going to move on to the NX. The thing about the NX is, what I think Nintendo should do, personally, my own opinion once again, I think it would be a good idea to release it in 2016. Either towards the end of the year or the beginning. Because the thing is, Microsoft and Sony have both said, weirdly, from what I've heard, they want to get the same amount of time out of this console generation as they did the 360 and the PS3, and that's like 8 or 9 years, because the 360 came out, end of 2005, start 2006, one of them. So, it's about 8 or 9 years the 7th gen lasted, and they want this gen to go on as long, if not longer. Which, that's weird to me as well, because for anybody who may not know, or may not pay attention to this kind of stuff, the 7th gen was unusually long for a console generation. It shouldn't, generations aren't usually that long, generally. And it's strange that they want to pull the same amount of time out of this gen as well. It's questionable at the too. I don't know what to say about it myself. It's certainly odd. So, we'll just have to wait and see what happens there, I guess. We'll just have to... So, yeah, the NX. Since Sony and Microsoft want to get the same time out of this gen, I doubt it's going to happen, but since they're trying for it, and in case it does happen, 2016 would be the best time to release this console, I think, for Nintendo. Because the thing is, right now, let's be honest, we're 2 years into the gen, they've still got the Wii U out, and it's not selling. It's not even relevant anymore, let's be honest. And they're stuck behind, way behind it in terms of relevancy. And, you know, they're going to have to bring out a new one soon if they want to stay relevant in the gaming industry. The only reason they're still around is their past and their pedigree and their track record they've built up. Let's be honest, guys. If Nintendo was like Sony and Microsoft, they wouldn't be relevant anymore. They've been in the game a lot longer, and that's the only reason why they're still around. You know. So when they bring out the NX, first of all, it's going to have to match the PS4 in terms of power. I don't care what anyone says. It's going to have 1080p resolution. It's going to, you know, have to have, I don't know the technical specifications of the PS4. But you know, it's going to have to match it on a power level or surpass it. One of the two. But the thing is, they need to bring out the console early enough that it doesn't cut into the next gen, because they're going to have to bring out the NX, and they are definitely going to have a console ready to launch at the beginning of the 9th gen. That's just a given. They're going to need to do that. So they'll need to release it you know, that's why I think they should release it in 2016. So then they've got a console for the 8th gen, and they can start work on the 9th gen and launch at the same time as the 9th gen. That would be the smartest way to do it, if you ask me. We'll just have to wait and see what they do, though. For the past hasn't shown that they're good at this kind of stuff, so we'll have to see, guys. We'll just have to see what Nintendo do. I'm gonna see, you know, we'll just have to see what happens in 2016, if they're making any announcements about a new console, what it's gonna be, and how it's gonna perform, and if it'll have third-party support, most importantly. Otherwise, it just won't be relevant. But yeah, guys, that's everything I wanted to say on this. I think I've shared my thoughts on the 8th gen fairly well. Gotten a bit nostalgic with you all too. But yeah, thanks for listening. Remember to like, comment, favourite, and subscribe. And thank you for watching my videos and supporting my channel. I'm out.